Hi, welcome to Kassy's Parlour YouTube channel. I'm super excited for this project today. We are going to be using several different graphics products to make a really cool desk organizer, and I cannot wait to get started. We've got some metallic foil board, we have double tack mounting film, and we've got this really fun funky films. This one is called Silver Sequins, and it's an adhesive backed just fun holographic kind of sheet that you can use to decorate projects. So I'm going to put everything off to the side here and show you my idea. So I've wanted to do this for a really long time, and today we're going to do it. I'm so excited. So I have all of these old washi tape holders, okay? And I thought, you know, instead of throwing them away, I really love to upcycle. I love to reuse things. I don't want it to end in a landfill or even a recycling center. I'd rather just reuse it if I can, and I just thought, wow, these are really cool if you take off the lids. And I thought if I could like find a way to stick them together somehow, they could be used for pencils, pens, markers, paint brushes, art supplies. I also have this, what is this? This is from a ribbon pack. So just from my local craft store, there was a bunch of spools of ribbon in here, and I just really like, so any kind of cylindrical kind of container will work. So it's got all of these, you know, tags and like stickers and all this kind of stuff. And one thing you could do is maybe soak it and really try and get these off, and that sounds like a lot of work, and I'm not really interested in that. So we're going to use the funky film and do some stuff on top of it, and then we're going to use it to cover up, you know, all these pieces that don't look so good. So first we're going to decorate them, and then we'll figure out how we're going to put them all together, okay? So to do that, I'm going to need probably a couple of pieces of my funky film. So this comes in a 6-pack, and they are 6 by 8 in size for this particular pack. What I want to do, since we're working on a non-porous surface, we're going to use StazON and piece. You got to move kind of quick because obviously StazON dries fast even on your stamp. So you can see I have a little extra strip too, so I'm going to have to do this twice, which is fine. Just pressing down really well, making sure I'm getting good coverage all around. All right, and then we'll peel this baby off here. Ooh. So I did miss a tiny bit there, but I think this looks fantastic. Look at how cool that is. And I want to emboss this with clear embossing powder because I kind of want this to stand out even a little bit more. So I've got some clear embossing powder from Imagine. I would say if you're going to emboss with this funky film that you definitely want to heat up your gun ahead of time so it's ready to go, and then just just don't keep it over any one spot for very long. Okay, so now they've both been embossed, and look at how cool. Oh, I love it so much. And the clear embossing powder went in a few places where there wasn't really much ink, and it gave really cool like pebbly look. It's hard to see on camera, but really, really cool. Oh, look there. You can kind of see that texture. And it just has a really cool feel now. It almost feels like leather. It feels really durable and awesome. So I'm very excited about this. I love the embossing on here. All right, so then our next step is going to be to start putting these on our tubes. So we need a cutting tool, and we are going to just measure and cut strips and then start sticking them on. I'm going to peel and stick this first piece. Wow, look at that. Ooh, I'm so excited. I love this stuff. It's so fun and cool. And there we go. We meet up and our line is perfect. So yay, look at that. So there we have our first piece. And when this is done and all put together, I mean, nobody's going to even know that that these were washi tape holders. And how cool it is it that you get to reuse something that would have gone in the trash otherwise. That's my favorite part. So it doesn't have to be exactly in the same spot, but pretty close, like in the general area. And then I'm just going to follow this around. Notice I haven't taken my tape off all the way. I'm just following the bottom edge of this around and letting that backing fall off as I go. I feel like that kind of works a little bit better. It's more manageable. Okay, and there we go. perfect. And it's super sticky. And look, we have our first tube done. So cool. Oh, I'm so excited. This is coming together really, really well. So I think I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of these. So I'll cut all of these pieces out and then we'll stick them on. Except for this big one. The big one will do something different. Okay, check these out. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. These are amazing. All right. So let me stick this one down just so we can see where we're going. It helps me kind of get my bearings and get a feel for like what's next when I can visualize and actually see like how things are coming together. So now we just have to deal with this other side here. So here we go. I'm just going to stick all these down, let them stay in place. Not really going to move any of this. Now I'm just going to layer my sandwich on top of this. All right, so that is my sandwich for the Gemini Junior. You can use whatever die cutting machine you have. It doesn't have to be this. So where the embossing powder is, it had a little bit of a hard time just because it's really thick, but it's still working. It's just taking a little bit extra effort. I'm going to have to cut that tiny little bit out. But just as far as the funky film by itself goes, I mean, it cuts a dream. Yeah, it's pretty much amazing. Let's see how this guy did. I might need to help him a little bit. Yep, it's only where, not even all the spots, but some of the places where there's like a lot of embossing powder. I bet if I had run this through twice, it would have cut perfectly. But here we go. See how nicely it holds its shape too? It just kind of hangs out there and doesn't like fold and get, you know, it's not hard to use. Okay, so now I'm going to cover up most of that white stuff, the white. Okay, so this double tack mounting film is really great for doing projects like this, especially because it's just got sticky on both sides. It's got, you know, the carrier. So now I'm just going to take my strips of double tack mounting film, and we'll start big and then work our way out. Okay, so I just need to make sure I've got a decent height. It doesn't. So I'm just going to peel off one side. Okay, and now this side is sticky. And I'm going to say, okay, I need to stick this guy. Actually, I'm going to stick it to this smaller piece right on that where the seam is. Remember the seam that we made earlier with our funky film? Stick it down, really burnish it on there really well, and then just press it together, okay? So then you're going to, then once it's like the bottoms are lined up so you know they're going to sit well, then you can pull it up and kind of press together with your fingers. And the more you can do this and press it together and really get it stuck, the better off you're going to be there. So now I'm sticking this last piece down, and I am so in love with this already. There's more to do. We're not done yet. But man, this is so cool. This is like, look at how cool this is. I mean, really. And this was junk. It was trash, right? And we're making it into a really fun, funky, cool desktop organizer. So I've got this metallic foil board, also from Grafix, and this is a variety pack. The sheets are 10 by 13, and there's 10 sheets in here, 2 each of gold, silver, green, red, and blue. But this is 8.5, okay, on its longest side, and then it is 4.5 on its widest part. So 8.5 by 4.5. That is how big our tray needs to be, at least, right? And I think we might want it to be a tiny bit bigger. So what if we did 8 3/4 by 4 3/4? And I'm going to write that up here because I will forget. 8 3/4 by 4 3/4. So 1 inch on either side. You're actually just going to do it on all 4 sides. So I'm just going to cut into one side of the corner and then do like a little tab out of it. You don't want to cut the whole thing out because you need some way to stick it. Okay, so you're just going to do that on all 4 sides, okay? And if you decide to do it on the long side, do it on the long side everywhere. So now we're going to score and use our bone folder here to get a nice burnish. And I love that when I fold it and score it, it's not tearing or creasing, you know, or showing that paper underneath. You get a really nice crisp fold here. I love this foil. All right, so I'm going to flip this over and just start sticking it together. Just make sure your corners meet up. Okay, so now we've got the outside done. When we cut the inside, we're actually going to have to cut it a tiny bit smaller so it fits inside of here. We did 10 3/4, so now I think we want to come in just like 1/8 of an inch so that we can account for kind of the thickness of the paper and just, you know, and let's see how it's going to fit in there. So we'll go, instead of 10 3/4, we're going to go to 10 5/8, and then instead of 6 3/4, we're going to go to 6 5/8. So we're doing 1 inch all the way around again. All right, cut your little tab out. We want to go, this time, we want to go red in. And then I burnish them down really well, and then I just peel off all 4, or you can do 2 at a time if that works better for you. And then just make sure your corners line up. Stick that right down in the middle. And then I would start, if you're doing this tray like this, I would start with peeling off this piece and sticking this in last side. Here we go. All right, so now we've got our tray all done, and look at how pretty. And we've got now red foil on the inside and the outside. Sticking across the whole surface, we're getting all the points, the main points that are sticking up, and then we're going to peel off that top layer and peel off this, and then we're just going to stick it to our base. All right, and we're just going to press down. All right, now we just have to put our little flower on the front. Love it. So I'm glad we're doing the flower and stuff last too, because I really wanted to make sure I had good placement for it and it wasn't like stuck down in the tray, you know. So yeah, I'm really happy that that is happening last so that we get it just where we want it. All right, so there we have it. Trust in the process. Check that out. So pretty, and I love the flower. I love the way that this project turned out. And geez, I hope that you decide to make one, and if you do, please go to Kassy's Parlor on Facebook and share it with me, and I would love to see what you make. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching this project. I hope you found some inspiration and found some fun new products that you could use, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you want to learn more about graphics products, you can go to graphicarts.com. Thanks. Bye.